Hello everyone, my name is Kinetic and welcome to Kingdom Under Fire 2. This is one of my most highly anticipated games. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and so I'm very excited to be able to show you some gameplay and talk about this game. Kingdom Under Fire 2 has been in development for quite a long time. It's somewhere around 7 years or something like that, and I've been waiting for it nearly that long, it feels like. I remember seeing one of the earliest trailers, just amazing looking gameplay, really nice graphics, and so far what I've experienced here in the Singapore beta is living up to that and so much more. What I want to talk about in this first video is not just show off the gameplay and things like that, but to kind of help viewers that have questions about what kind of game Kingdom Under Fire 2 is, to help you guys understand it, because there's a lot of misunderstanding, sort of misinformation, if anything, about what Kingdom Under Fire 2 exactly is. Is it an MMORPG, as people say? Is it an MMORTS? Is it a MMOG, which apparently is massively multiplayer online game, the most generic and redundant way I think you could call a game? Really, it's a very interesting blend of a lot of different things. Certainly it shares a lot of features and ideas from what you would expect from an MMORPG, for example, World of Warcraft, Terra, Guild Wars, and things like that, but it brings a lot of interesting features from other games, RTS style, like StarCraft, for example, and even some dungeon crawling type of experiences as well, for example, Path of Exile or Diablo 3. So yeah, it's very hard to narrow it down and to kind of stick a label on it. I really don't feel like it's an MMORPG, because then that brings so many preconceived notions of what the game is and what it's like and things like that. And so I try not to classify it as such. As you can see from me running around town, the game is extremely nice looking. The graphics are very, very clean. The textures are nice. The animations are very, very fluid. I think this is visually one of the most impressive games that I've seen in this genre. Certainly there are other games that look as good as this, perhaps even better, but those games don't usually, I don't think, offer, for example, destructible environments and hundreds of characters in a battle at the exact same time without any lag and frame rate loss or anything like that. This game runs incredibly smooth from what I've seen. Currently, as you can see, I am level 12 and I'm in the city of Accolade. This is the first major hub that I've had a chance to kind of rest in and to take the game to the next level. Up until this point, it's largely been a tutorial, a very lengthy tutorial that is teaching you little by little all of the different mechanics that that you will need to know in how to control your troops and things like that. Now that I'm here in the city of Accolade, the game seems to open up so much more. I arrived here, I think, roughly around level 9 or 10, but I still needed to reach level 12 before I could explore more into other areas. As you may notice in the back there is a kind of blue swirling special effect. That is actually a portal that will allow me to travel from outside of this city into other areas. Kingdom Under Fire 2 is considerably instanced. There are areas where you will be able to travel around in open areas just like this, but bigger, with other players and things like that freely. And then there are other areas, for example, for missions and for party groups and things like that. Those areas are completely instanced, so that way you get the full experience of what the mission has to offer. Kingdom Under Fire 2 is heavily story-driven. I mean, up until this point, it's been one story mission after another. There's been a little bit of sort of, you could say, side questing, I suppose, but it's really been about the missions. And it kind of makes sense, especially when you know the history of Kingdom Under Fire 2's development. Originally, this was supposed to be a single-player game, but they decided to modify it and open it up to allow it to be an online multiplayer game. And so it's really interesting the way that they've been able to do that. Perhaps that's largely the reason why it's taken so long for it to get to this point to be ready. You may also notice how much English there is on the screen and around me. This game actually, here from Singapore, is completely in English. It's even got English voice acting. And so I know the next thing you're going to be saying is, well, why the hell isn't it in North America? Or why isn't it in Europe or something like that? Well, English, as you probably know, especially from Europe, is not the only language. Plus, this is beta, and it definitely, not that I say this in a negative way, but I can definitely see considerable amounts of room for improvement, for optimization on the PC version, which I'm playing from now. It's definitely got a few glitches here and there and stuff like that. The expected release date, well, the expected beta testing for North America and EU, I believe is somewhere towards the end here of 2014, and in an interview that I saw with Angry Joe, they said that it hopefully will be ready around the first quarter of 2015. So we've got a ways to go, and understanding that, I think that you see that while this game does seem like it's pretty damn ready, they obviously are taking their time and they want to make this the best game that they possibly can. Kingdom Under Fire 2 is an action-oriented style of combat game. No tab targeting, you're going to be using your camera to aim around to decide which way you're going to be attacking. The way that you perform basic attacks is by left-clicking like that. You can right-click also to perform a different kind of action. For the gunslinger here, he pulls out his gun and shoots at whatever he's generally facing at. And then we have some bigger attacks here, which I can also chain by clicking left click on my mouse. Same with sword attacks. I can initially start with a single attack. If I continue to click with the left mouse button afterwards, then I'll perform a chain combination of attacks. I really like the combat here in Kingdom Under Fire 2. It feels very, very good. And from the different classes that are currently available, which are 3, there's going to be 5, according to the developers at launch. And then I believe also the PlayStation 4 has an exclusive character from the original Kingdom Under Fire. Kendall, I believe, is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation 4 version. So that may mean that for the PC version, we will have, starting with 5 classes, and perhaps on the PlayStation 4, that will mean it has 6 classes to choose from. Before we get into the character creation and things like that, which I will show off briefly, I definitely want to show you guys what it's like to be on the big battlefields with your troops. Commanding your armies to fight against other armies is easily the highlight, I think, of this game, and really is what sets it apart from other MMOs out there. As you can see in this sort of Dynasty Warriors style of combat, you can control your character, slashing away at enemies, performing combos and things like that. But you can also take the time, and it's really important that you do this, take the time to guide your troops and make sure that they're nice and healthy, make sure they're positioned in the right areas, and also following orders which you can give them, be it more offensive, more defensive, or supporting your hero character. While this may seem like just a bunch of hacking and slashing, there is actually a considerable amount of strategy that is involved in not just succeeding in completing your missions, but also getting a higher rank, which definitely gives you better rewards for completing these missions. You're going to have to flank around certain groups of enemies to try and attack ranged enemies. You'll have to adjust what your troops' behavior is to be more offensive or more defensive, or support your hero character while he or she is performing on the battlefield. So as you can see, it's really fluid, switching in and out of the two modes from controlling your character and also focusing on your troops' movement, their attacking patterns, and you can also perform certain skills, for example, to heal a group. As your troops groups take damage, then they actually lose units, so they may start with something like 18 or whatever troops in that group, but as they take damage, their numbers grow smaller and smaller, so you may only have like 2 guys left in that one group until you heal them, and then those other troops kind of revive and they come back to join the battle. Alright, so let's take a quick look now at the character creation and customization. As I mentioned before, there are currently 3 classes to choose from in the beta, but the developers said that they want to have 5 by release, and I don't think that includes the PlayStation 4 exclusive character. Right now we have to choose from the Gunslinger, which you have seen me play so far. There's also the Spell Sword and the Berserker. Let's take a look at customizing the Spell Sword. By selecting her, you will be also not just selecting a gender, but you're also selecting your class and your race. These classes are locking together their gender and also their race. This may be kind of a turn-off for many people, which I can totally understand, but I'm kind of used to that because I have played games before, for example like Vindictus, where you will be choosing a class which is also choosing your gender. Perhaps in the future they will allow to have gender changing, so that way you can be a male sorcerer, you can be a female gunslinger, you can be a female berserker, but as it is right now, they are gender and race locked. Aside from those limitations, as you can see, there are a ton of options here for customizing the look of your character. You can tweak just about everything you could want to tweak with their face. You can adjust all sorts of different hairstyles which are available. You don't have to pay for other hairstyles from a measly pool that you originally get to select from. No, there are a lot of hairstyles here, a lot of really nice options. You can also preview armor to see what different armor sets may look like on your character. Really nice stuff. There are guilds in this game. You will have to be level 12 in order to start up a guild. There is also an auctioneer, so if you're wondering if there's an auction house and things like that, there definitely is. You will also be able to pick up some gathering professions or join unions, as it is called here, production unions, for things like gathering vegetables or whatever, logging, mining, hunting, and things like that. We've also got crafters over here, for example the weaponsmith.
Hello.
Talk to him and you'll be able to combine some different materials to create helpful items and things like that.
Come back anytime.
And a bunch of other things. When it comes to managing your troops and such, here on the barracks menu, I can set up to 5 different groups of troops here to be deployed and to go along with me on missions. In the beginning, of course, you will have only 1 slot available. When you reach level 10, you will have another slot, 24, 28, and then level 30 is when you will have your 5th and final slot. Obviously, there are a lot of other slots here for a variety of other troops that you can hire and bring along with you. And you can categorize these and focus on different races that you may want. What kind of function, be it melee, ranged attack, for example bows and arrows, or a magic caster. Oh, and before I exit that menu also, you can set these badges on your troops as well, and this will give them different bonuses to a variety of things: their accuracy, their defense, their powers, lots of different stuff. We'll also be able to give them skills, and so not just your character, but also your troops on the battlefield will have their own set of skills to learn and to level up as they go along. To make it even more interesting, what you may start off with is a very basic infantry group, but once you get to a certain level, then you can actually enhance their job, and then they rank up into more powerful types of warriors. Same with archers, and I imagine for every other type of troops. So you start off with these groups being very simple, basic soldiers, and as they level up and progress, like you, they become more powerful and become much more formidable on the battlefield. And finally, one last little point of discussion. I'm going to show you guys some more about your own personal character customization and progression via the Hero Skill Book. Here you'll be able to see some of the passive and active abilities that you'll be able to unlock for your character. And what's interesting is that there are 2 resources, not just one, that you will use to level up your character. You've got your basic skills up here at the top, which show off a variety of things, active and passive. And then you also have some very class-specific abilities down here as well. For example, aimed shot, reinforcement, which is good for healing your troops or for healing yourself in fights, poke, weakness, armor pierce, spinning blade, things like that, you will be able to unlock from this window. Up here at the top, these are actually unlocked with gold, not with skill points. From here down, in my gunslinger shooting and swordsmanship trees, if you will, are where you will use skill points, which I have 6 of. I'm kind of slacking on that, aren't I? So yeah, you will use gold, not just for purchasing upgrades and things like that, but also for upgrading your abilities. So with my special attack here being level 12, let's see how high and how costly I can upgrade this. Well, I was able to upgrade it one time, and it's going to cost me 470 gold. Currently, I've got 26,500 gold. So right now, this is not expensive, but I imagine as you are leveling up further and further, this is considerably going to jump up in cost. Evade, that's as high as that goes. Probably, yeah, the same for the aim weakness, critical hit. Alright, so now we're up to 1,690. Not bad at all, I don't think. I have no problem whatsoever with coughing up 1,690 gold. That's all for now in this quick preview of Kingdom Under Fire 2. As you can see, there's a lot of fun features being borrowed from other genres and mashed into this game. If you're a fan of MMORPGs, of RTS games, I really think that this game is worth your time. I've got a lot more videos planned for the future, so make sure that you're subscribed for more coming up soon. I'll be talking more about the different features in the game, mission breakdowns, guides, and lots more to come in the near future. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Click the like button to support Kingdom Under Fire 2 videos, and I'll keep them coming out as quickly as I can. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.